Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a great vacation. Now we are back to our lessons. Inshallah, we will be doing some online lessons, so-called virtual classes. I hope you will enjoy this too. So why can't we get started? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our lesson is 6.3. It reads Piecewise Function. We will see what does this mean. And you can see that the lesson objectives, if you scroll down your PPT, Piecewise Function, we have two different objectives. First of all, we will write the piecewise function. After that, we may graph, and definitely we will have some connections, real world problems where we really apply the piecewise function. And the new vocab is piecewise function and step function. I will show you that is what is step function in the beginning itself. And I just do that. So if you read piecewise function, what does exactly it mean is just a combination. You have a combined combination of one or more functions. Let's have a look at what does that mean. Okay. This is the graph of a stepwise function. You can see the word, how it means a step. When you graph it, it moves like step. Okay, I will show you. This is the graph, and that is the name why it is called a stepwise function. A step function is actually an example for piecewise function. Let's have a look at some example. So let's see again, the graph is, if you can identify the graph, it's a step function. I'll show you what is mathematically how we write a step function. I will show you that. We have some examples in here. If you really scroll down, you can see step function on the top, and the example has been shown here. F of x is equal to 5 if x is from 0 to 13. It's 9 when 13 to 55, and it is 6.5 as you read. Yeah. When x is greater than or equal to 55. This could be, it's for better understanding, read this as 596.5 as the ticket rate for some amusement park, okay, or some park. When, and this domain, the x value could be the age of the people. If you are under 13, you have to pay 5 dirham. If you are 13 to 55, below 13, I mean in between 13 to 55 year old, you will have to pay 9 dirham. And if you are 55 and more, you will have to pay 6.5 dirham. That means you have different rules. Yeah? You have different rules for different age group. So the rule has been broken down. Like you have different rules. So this is a combined. This is called a piecewise function. And as these numbers are constant, like there is no x value, it's not like 5x or something. So this is called a step function. And the graph, as I showed you, the graph better explain why this is called a stepwise function. So I will show you another example for a piecewise function. This is the same example. You please be with me to scroll down. Yeah, and we will have to sometime evaluate. So this is our another objective. Evaluate a piecewise function. If you really remember, the word evaluate is a kind of, yeah, you're right, substituting. Plug in the x value and find the y value. That is the meaning of evaluating a function. So what's the trouble with piecewise function? We have done this one before, like evaluating any function. So let's have a look at what is how we are dealing piecewise function. Here we go. We have an example. H of x is equal to, can you see 2x plus 1, x squared minus 4? You have two different rules for different domain. When x is less than or equal to 2, you have the rule 2x plus 1. When x is more than 2, you have x squared minus 4. So this is the combination of the function. H of x is the single function which combines these two. Okay? So this is a piecewise function. Piecewise function is a combination of different functions. Let's have a look at how you're going to evaluate the y value. Y here is h now. Okay? When x is -1 and when x is 4. Let's have a look at. Here we go. When x is -1, just take my photo in here. When x is -1, we need to plug in x value, yeah? Where I have to plug in here or in here? That depends upon the domain. Choose your domain properly. Domain is the x value, yeah, right? When x is -1, is -1 less than 2 or is -1 is greater than 2? Obviously, -1 is less than 2, so you need to choose this rule. So I have to plug in -1 where I have to plug in -1? We need to plug in -1 in the first rule because that's what it says. So I do plug in x -1, 2 times -1 plus 1. You know how to evaluate. Please give a bracket there, as I always said, yeah? Okay, so -2 plus 1 will give you a -1. Another one they ask you is for the same question. You need to find x equal to 4. X equal to 4. Is x equal to 4? Is 4 is less than 2 or 4 is more than 2? Obviously, 4 is more than 2. So you need to choose this rule, x squared minus 4. So substitute 4, plug in 4 in the second one, 4 squared minus 4. 16 minus 4 will give you a 12. As simple as that. Let's move on to another example. Here we go. We have another example. For sure you will do this one better than me. Okay. Can you see this is a piecewise function? Did you get that? It's a piecewise function. Yes, you're right, because it combines two different functions. Yeah. You have 2 to the power of x. What kind of function is that? 2 to the power of x is that? Yeah, well done. It's an exponential function. And what is 5x? Excellent. It's a linear function. So it combines two different functions. So now we are going to, what do we do? We are going to evaluate. We need to evaluate g of -1 and g of 4. G of -1 is the x value. Where it falls? It falls. -1. Both you can see -1. Which one I would choose is where I have equal to. This is crucial. You have to see that properly. If you see -1 in somewhere and you put in anywhere, no. You have to see where is equal to. You can see in 2 to the power of x you have equal to. You are right. You will have to substitute 2 to the power of -1. Read it properly. 2 to the power of -1 is it -2? It is 1 over 2. Negative power gives you a reciprocal. And g of 4, x is 4. Where I can find 4? Is 4 greater than -1? Is 4 less than -1? Definitely, obviously, 4 is more than -1. So which rule you would choose is 5x. So you have to substitute in this. So 5 times -1, 5 times 4 will give you a 20. That's it. So you know, I hope you know how to evaluate a function. Why can't we move on to the next one? Again you have, what kind of function is this? Again, the domain has been broken. Yeah. And so f of x is the single function. As it combines different, you have a piecewise function. And moreover, is it not a step function? This piecewise function is a step function because you have some constant numbers as f of x. Like in our example, 12 is 12 dirham, then no, it is not age group, you have a negative, leave it. Anyway, you have some numbers in here, so it's a piecewise function, which is a step function. How would you evaluate? When x is negative 1, where is x negative 1 in here? So, see your x value, choose the domain, choose the rule properly. Where is negative 1? Negative 1 is in here. No, negative 1 is in here. Yeah, negative 1 is in between negative 3 and 6. So, you have this value, 15 is the y value. Look at that. So, you have f of negative 1 is 15, not 12, not 20, because negative 1 is, negative 1 is in here, negative 3 to 6, so that's it. And for f of 3, pause the video for some time and you do yourself. And if you got f of 3 is 15, well done. Well done. I know you will do well. Okay, so again you have evaluating piecewise function. I hope this time you will do faster than ever. X is negative 1, where it goes? Negative 1, is this negative 1 less than 0 or is it greater than 0? You know that it is less than 0, so you will have to choose the first rule. You know that, yeah? So that's it. And you can see they chose it properly. Okay. Which one would you choose? Choose it properly and substitute it. Okay. Well done. Okay. Now you will have to graph. You have to graph it. That is our next objective. I can take another video better for you. Inshallah, I hope this may help you. Okay. For some time, I will take another video. Thanks for clicking.